everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be answering Q&A questions. Now, I put up a video absolutely ages ago asking you what kind of questions would you like to have asked me about anything to do with Disney, and I would answer them for you. So there are a few that I'm going to answer in this video, and there are a few that I'm probably going to turn into actual videos themselves. This is from a girl called Chloe, and it says, what is your favourite quick and table service at Disney World? Now I need to think, because I went to Disney World a year ago. Now I'm not as up to date with everything in Walt Disney World as I am Disneyland Paris, but in terms of quick service food, what did I enjoy in Disney World? I really enjoyed, I think it was like Starlight Cafe. I really want to say that. If I'm wrong, I will put like a little thing here, but it's kind of on the corner of Tomorrowland and like on the next bit of Fantasyland, if that makes sense. I think it's a Starlight Cafe. It's got like a weird alien like playing drums in it. That was pretty good. Yeah, we didn't really eat in many fast food places when we were actually in the parks because we had like reservations for dinners and stuff, so I think that was probably one of the only ones we went to really, but it was pretty decent and I enjoyed it. I'm sure there's much better ones, but you know, that was one of the quick service ones we went to. One of the table service we went to, I'm gonna say a buffet because I really enjoyed it, and I think it is Tuscan House, and it's in Animal Kingdom, and it's a buffet, and the choice there is just amazing. Now I am vegetarian, so for me it's sometimes different places are slightly more appealing than others, and this one is just so vegetarian friendly, and it was amazing food. It tasted wonderful. The atmosphere in there was great because you got to meet characters in their like animal gear, and I just loved it in there. It was my favourite. From Chloe again, when do you next plan to go to Disney World? I wish I had a trip planned already for Disney World, but I can't say that I do. I have no idea when I'll be going back to Disney World, but hopefully, I want to say in the next 5 years. Hopefully. I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back. What's your favourite Disney character interaction you've had at a Disney park? My most memorable one will always be Belle at Auberge, just because I have never been so excited to meet a character before in my life, and I was just so ecstatic that I finally got to meet her after 4 trips to Disneyland Paris. And I'd say my most favourite meets, they're always with Chip and Dale. They're just the best meets. They're so cheeky together and they're just funny, and I don't know, I just love my meets with Chip and Dale. They're always great. Oh, this is an interesting one. Would your idea of a proposal be at Disneyland or Disneyland Paris? Like, as in what? A marriage proposal? I'm assuming that. I'm not gonna lie, if I was proposed to at a Disney park or like on Disney property somewhere, I'd probably quite like it. Yeah, just because obviously my partner would have taken into consideration that was something I loved. So I don't know, I'd like it, but it's not something I'm hoping for, if that makes sense. Like, I don't necessarily want a proposal to be at Disney. How can you fit the most rides into one day at Disneyland Paris? Go on the small rides in magic hours, extra magic hours, like Snow White, Pinocchio, all those kind of things, like teacups and everything. Go on those extra magic hours if you can, and then do the bigger ones. If it's a summer, you're going to need to get fast passes, and if it's off-peak, you're probably going to be okay. But, you know, the popular ones in Disneyland Paris often are Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, and then in the studios you've got Crush's Coaster, that's always popular, Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, all sorts of things like that, Ratatouille. You have to take into consideration which ones are the popular ones and what is an unpopular time to go on them, and then kind of work your day around that if you're a rides person. I'm not super fussed if I don't go on all the rides in one day. I quite like to see the shows and everything, but yeah, you just kind of have to look at the times and judge what you think you can do in a quicker time and stuff. How many Disney parks have you been to? Which do you really want to visit that you haven't been to? Okay, so I have only been to Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris. I'd love to go to Disneyland California. I think that's kind of like the next one to go to. I'd quite like to go to the one in Shanghai, but I haven't got like a huge desire to go. I'd love to go to all of them if I'm being honest, but flying all the way to like Tokyo or, you know, places like that to just go to Disney seems a bit like extravagant for me personally, because I feel like I'd be going to that country for the wrong reason. Now, I love Disney and I totally go there just for Disney, but I feel like if I'm going to Japan, I should be going to Japan to see Japan, not going there to see Disney. Does that make sense? Because it's so far away, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to Disney at the beginning of September. What are your top tips and must things to do at Disneyland Paris? Love your videos. Thank you, and I'm so sorry I have not answered this question for you yet because you're going pretty much in the next week or so. So what are your top tips and must things to do? My top tips are to just get out of bed and go and do as much as you can. I've been to Disney a lot, so sometimes I need a line because I feel like I've done it, so it doesn't matter if I don't go and do it. But if this is like your first time and you've never been there before and you want to make the most of it, get up early every day, go and have breakfast and get in the park. Smash it out and you will not regret it. It's just, you know, it's just amazing there. But my favourite things to do when I'm at Disney is to walk down Main Street and have good photo opportunities. So that's always great in the morning. That's if photos are important to you. If they're not, then, you know, go on rides, meet characters and stuff. But when it's quiet, I like to get some Main Street photos taken. Not necessarily of myself, just like of the surroundings and everything, because it's just a great time to get some photos in. Food. When Amy and I go, food's like a massive part of our trip, not going to lie. So we do plan like what restaurants we're going to eat at, and like, you know, what was Blue Lagoon when I used to go is now called Captain Jack's, so like that used to be a favourite of ours. We used to like to go to Annette's, and Walt's is lovely. It's just, you know, like we used to really like to go to restaurants that we wouldn't necessarily have gone to in this country. So like even things like Rainforest Cafe that are a bit like out there are always fun to go to, and character meet and greets for food places are just so fun. I'd recommend doing that. In terms of rides, Pirates of the Caribbean, you must go on that ride. Just go and have fun. Anything you do at Disney is just great, and I can't necessarily pinpoint something that you must do, because everyone loves different things. I might say to you, go and watch the shows, and you're not a fan of shows. So, you know, find the things that you like to do and make the most of it. What rides make you the happiest and why? Love your videos. I'm a massive Disney fan. I go every year. Oh, you lucky person, you. Thank you for liking my videos, by the way. What was the question? What rides make you the happiest? Okay, what rides make me the happiest? Probably the ones that give you an adrenaline rush. So things like Hyperspace Mountain, Rock and Roller, Crush's Coaster, Indiana Jones, like all of the roller coasters that give you like a bit of a buzz afterwards. I love the teacups because that just keeps you going, ooh. It's a small world because you're like la, 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 like all the time. What else? Yeah, just things like that. Pirates of the Caribbean I love, if I haven't said that enough already in this video. Yeah, I just, you know, all of them make me happy. Are you going to Disneyland Paris this October? No, sorry, I'm not this October. Do you think you'll get another annual pass? No, I can safely say that I will not get another annual pass again, probably for the rest of my life, which sounds really sad, but I'm at an age now where I've got other responsibilities in my life and I can't keep travelling around to Disneyland Paris. There'll be nothing better in my life than to be able to film videos and go to Disney parks all around the world and film them for you and not have to do anything else. But unfortunately that's not how life works, and I have to work and I have to do my degree, I have to pay bills for this house, so unfortunately I won't be getting an annual pass to any Disney parks. I'll just be going on holidays probably every like few years or so, which is like, I'm coming to terms with it. I'm having to accept responsibility for other things, but I'm very excited to go on all sorts of adventures with Ben. Like, we're planning to go to some amazing places in the next few years, so yeah, like watch the space. We're really wanting to travel the world and not just go to Disney, but you know, Disney will always be in my heart and I'll always be a Disney girl because I always have been, and I'll always want to go, so I will go, even if I have to go on my own. And do you think any less of Disneyland Paris having been to Walt Disney World? Now this is a very interesting topic, and I feel like I should do a whole video on it. I don't think any less of Disneyland Paris having been to Walt Disney World at all, in the slightest. It's my little home away from home, and I'll always love it for that particular reason. I do not think you can compare the two parks in the slightest, because they are not the same. They're very similar, they are Disney, but they're not the same. They're not on the same level. If you go to Walt Disney World and you see some of the effects on the rides that they've got there, Disneyland Paris is like way behind. But if you go to Disneyland Paris for that reason, you're going to be disappointed. If you go because you like a bit of magic and you like the atmosphere and you like it for what it is, then that's great. But if you compare the two, you just can't compare them. And if you do start comparing them, I don't see why people don't compare like the architecture and stuff, because personally I think Disneyland Paris's castle is one of the prettiest that they've got out of all parks, and I think the Disneyland Hotel is stunning. The Disneyland Paris entrance, in fact, is just one of the nicest entrances compared to all of the other Disney parks. So there are like hits and misses for each park, and I don't feel you can compare one to the other because they're all different in their magical ways. If you could move a ride from Disney World to Disneyland Paris, which ride would it be and why? Ooh, I'd probably say I'd have to move something like Soarin', or something of the virtual reality kind of wave length to the studios or something. Yeah, probably something like that, because I just think if anything is missing from Disneyland Paris, it's the more modern technology kind of rides, and that would be something like it. But that's only because I really like rides like that, so yeah, probably something like that. Oh crumbs, they've given me loads. What has been your worst experience at Disneyland Paris or Disneyland Park? My worst experience? Okay, let's just say, okay, at Walt Disney World, well, on our first day, Magic Kingdom, I almost puked up everywhere. Now, bearing in mind we came from the UK, which was probably like 16, 17 degrees leaving, to a 38-degree country, of which we were straight out there in the heat. I was drinking lots of water, but I decided that I was going to wait for the parade in the sun at Central Plaza. Is that what they called it in America? I don't know, but Central Plaza, let's just call it. And I was wondering, why is no one like waiting for the parade? Like, it starts in 20 minutes. Why is no one waiting? This is confusing to me. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna stand here because I want to have a good spot. I want to see everything for the first time. I'm really excited. And I realised it's because it was too hot that people just weren't waiting for it outside, and they would come to it later because they were in the shade. But I was waiting, I was not feeling well at all. I thought I was going to puke everywhere, and I've never felt so bad in my life. And I don't know what it was that made me get through that parade. I think it was because I was filming it for my vlog, and I was just like, I must film it for the vlog. I must film it for the vlog. And I was so determined that as soon as the end float came with Minnie and Mickey on, I said to my sister Georgia, who was sat next to me, I was like, I've got to go. I've got to go. And like, I put the camera down, and obviously I didn't put that in the vlog, but I cut it out. But I literally am walking to the nearest toilet, which is like on the corner of Main Street past like the bakeries and stuff, and walking over the fake grass, I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm going to be sick. And I was like walking very slowly because I knew that if I was walking faster I would have like, and I'm someone who doesn't do sick. I don't like being sick. I'm very good at keeping it down, and I have not been sick since I was like 18 years old, and I was quite drunk. Yeah, I just don't like being sick. And I was just thinking in my head, oh my god, a cast member's gonna have to come get me. My family aren't here, they're all dotted around somewhere on my own. Can't call them because I'm in a foreign country, my phone won't work. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna be sick. And I somehow made it to the toilet where the air conditioning was. Basically, I just needed to go somewhere. I thought I was gonna be sick. I locked myself in the cubicle. I sat on the floor with my face over the loo, and for some reason, like, I was not sick. I think it's just because I'm so scared of sick that I just wasn't. But I'm sorry I've said sick a lot in this video, but I think it's just the temperature. I just need to sit in there for like 10 minutes. But I saw my parents, my dad and sister were sat on the bench outside the loos. I literally threw my bag at them. They knew I was not looking right because I was like, I looked like death. And I went in the loo, I didn't even say anything, just chucked my bag and went and sat on the floor in the bathroom for like 15 minutes trying to cool myself down. I got out and I was shaking and they were like, oh my god, we need to go back, you're not well. And I cried in Magic Kingdom on my first day, like a baby, because I was like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited and now I'm not very well. I was like gutted. I was probably having a baby like cry moment. But I mean, I've been dreaming about this holiday for so long. First day in Magic Kingdom, like we've only been there for a couple of hours. I'm already about to puke my guts up because I'm not used to the temperature and we having to leave early because of me. Like that was a bad memory at one of the Disney parks. I'm not gonna lie, it was bad. Okay, next question. What's your most favourite piece of Disney merchandise you own or would like to own? My favourite Disney merchandise, I'd have to say, at the moment, is probably these three fellas here. So Lumiere, Chip and Cogsworth. I just love them. I've wanted them for so long. I'm so happy I've got them in my collection. So yeah, I have to say that these are my favourite pieces of merchandise. What's your favourite hotel and why? Now I can only answer this for Disneyland Paris because I haven't stayed in a Walt Disney World hotel yet, maybe one day. My favourite hotel at Disneyland Paris, I'm going to say Sequoia Lodge actually. I really enjoyed my stay there with Amy at Halloween. It was very lovely and cosy inside and I really liked that. I loved Newport Bay, but it wasn't cosy, it was really very clean, crisp cut kind of like design. Whereas Sequoia Lodge just felt really like homely and like warm and cosy, and I really enjoyed staying in that hotel. However, you know, ask me that question in like a few more years time when I've gone to Disneyland Paris Hotel, because my answer will then be the Disneyland Paris Hotel because I am in awe of that hotel and I really want to stay there. So just saying. What is the best ride at Disneyland Paris and what is the best Disney thing you have? Oh well, I've already answered that. Best ride at Disneyland Paris, I'd have to say is Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just my favourite. I love the atmosphere, I love the ride. It's a long ride, it doesn't go really quickly. It's something for the whole family. It's not scary and it's just very well done and original and I love it. What's the first thing you do when you get into a park? I basically walk down Main Street, I have a little boogie. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited I'm here. I do a Snapchat and then I take a picture of the castle. I look at the window displays down Main Street and that's basically the first thing I do when I get into the park. If you had your own part in a Disney parade, what would your float be like? Oh, okay. What would my float be like? My float would be glitter. It would just be glitter everywhere and it would be sparkling. So I don't know what character I would be, but it would just be beautiful. It would have sparkles everywhere. There would be like lights embossed in the glitter so that it'd sparkle every now and then. It just looked like heaven on a float, and that's what my float would look like so far. I don't know what theme it would be, but I know it would be glitter, silver glitter, and like sparkly lights, like dazzling everyone, like boom. That's what it would be like. Have you ever experienced rude cast members? No, I actually haven't personally experienced rude cast members, however I know some people have. The only rude person, I wouldn't even call them a cast member because they worked in Planet Hollywood, and are they really cast members if they work in Planet Hollywood? I'm not sure. I don't know. If they are, then fair enough. I've had one rude one. It was a waitress in Planet Hollywood. She basically just didn't hardly say anything. She slammed my annual pass down on the counter and didn't even hardly say anything to us. It's the first time I did not leave a tip at Disneyland Paris for food. And I was like, I'm not doing it. She does not deserve it. So she was just rude. What's your favourite thing about Disneyland Paris and your least favourite thing about Disneyland Paris? My favourite thing about Disneyland Paris is the feeling it gives me when I'm there. I forget about absolutely everything else that is going on in the world and I'm just in a complete Disney happy bubble, and I just feel so content when I'm there. And it's probably because I associate it with memories of my childhood and my family and just happiness overall, and all my times there with Amy, and it's just been such a magical part of my life that I just can't not feel happy when I'm there. So that's probably my favourite thing about Disneyland Paris. My least favourite thing is some of the other guests. And when I say that, I'm talking about people who are rude. So there are sometimes guests that I find can be quite rude and push in front of you, shout a load of abuse to you in another language that I can't understand. And yeah, I'll leave the rest to your imagination, but I'm sure some of you experience people like that as well. I think that's probably going to be it for the rest of the video, because there are more questions here, but they're very similar to other ones, and some are regarding like finances and stuff like that for Disney, which I would like to do in other videos. That's the Q&A for now. If you have got any more questions Disney related, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I hope that this has helped some of you, and I will be sure to see you in another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!